In 1769, a brilliant but deeply impoverished French philosopher named Denis Diderot received an incredibly gorgeous, expensive scarlet dressing gown as an unexpected gift. This single piece of ultimate luxury looked completely magnificent, but it instantly made every other old item in his humble apartment look absolutely terrible and shameful. You have almost certainly experienced this exact same frustrating mental trap in your own life, even though nobody ever warned you about its hidden financial danger. To fix this sudden visual imbalance, he immediately replaced his old straw chair with a leather seat, purchased expensive new prints, and plunged directly into massive debt. Psychologists call this endless, destructive consumer spiral the Diderot Effect, and today you will finally discover exactly why buying one item forces you to buy everything. Before we unpack the deeply unsettling psychological mechanism behind this behavior, I want to share a massive secret that modern retail corporations use to exploit you daily. If you want to master your own mind and protect your hard-earned money from these subtle traps, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell right now. What most regular shoppers never realize is that our material possessions hold a very powerful, deeply anchored psychological connection to our core sense of personal identity. When you buy a sleek new smartphone, you are not just purchasing a communication device, because your brain unconsciously demands a matching high-end case and premium wireless earbuds. The original purchase instantly creates a brand new, highly demanding identity standard that forces all your future spending choices to completely align with that initial premium choice. Think about the last time you bought a nice dress or a sharp suit, because you probably felt compelled to buy new shoes and expensive accessories immediately after. This is the exact moment the human brain makes its first massive financial error, and it always happens completely automatically, without your conscious awareness or rational permission. Renowned anthropologist Grant McCracken officially coined this behavioral concept in 1988, while studying how consumer goods communicate cultural meaning within modern societies worldwide. His groundbreaking research revealed that products are completely incapable of satisfying us in isolation, because human beings naturally crave absolute visual harmony across all their possessions. When you introduce a single, discordant, highly premium item into your existing environment, it systematically disrupts your entire psychological equilibrium and forces a complete lifestyle upgrade. But here is the most counterintuitive part of the study, because researchers discovered that upgrading your items actually decreases your overall long-term happiness while increasing financial anxiety. Let us pause for a moment and look at how modern trillion-dollar tech conglomerates deliberately weaponize this exact human vulnerability against your bank account every single day. When a tech company designs an ecosystem, they deliberately ensure that their newest smartwatch will only function perfectly if you also own their specific premium laptop. You buy the sleek laptop for work, but suddenly your old headphones feel completely obsolete, so you spend hundreds more just to maintain a seamless technical connection. This corporate strategy is not accidental design, because product engineers spend billions studying behavioral economics to create inescapable consumption loops that feel perfectly natural to shoppers. Retail stores use specific floor layouts and curated product bundles because they know that seeing complementary luxury items together triggers an intense, unstoppable urge to purchase both. They create an artificial environment where buying just the single base product feels incomplete, leaving the consumer feeling deeply unsatisfied until the entire set is fully owned. This brings us to the third major open loop of our journey, which reveals how this pattern secretly ruins your personal relationships and your long-term career choices. Stay with me for the next 2 minutes, because understanding this next hidden layer will completely change how you view your entire lifestyle and your daily social interactions. The Diderot effect does not merely apply to physical objects, because it also completely dictates your social status, your career expectations, and your daily lifestyle inflation habits. When an individual receives a modest promotion at work, they rarely just save the extra income because their mind instantly demands a lifestyle that matches their new corporate title. They move into a slightly more expensive apartment, which suddenly requires finer furniture, which then makes their reliable old car look completely out of place in the parking lot. You find yourself trapped on a fast-moving hedonic treadmill, working significantly harder just to pay for things you did not even want or need a single year ago. This is precisely how highly educated professionals earning six-figure salaries still end up living paycheck to paycheck, completely trapped by the invisible chains of involuntary consumerism. They believe they are making independent, rational choices, but they are actually just reacting blindly to the powerful psychological pressure of their own initial upgraded lifestyle choices. Now that we clearly see the full scope of this systemic trap, we must ask the most critical question of all. How do we actually break free from it? Fortunately, Denis Diderot himself provided the ultimate clue when he wrote his famous essay, deeply regretting that he had ever allowed a robe to master his life. The absolute first step to reclaiming your financial freedom is practicing the highly effective psychological strategy known to top behavioral experts as intentional friction before any purchase. Before you buy any single new item, you must explicitly list every single secondary upgrade that this specific purchase will inevitably force you to make later on. If buying a new car will inevitably force you to pay for premium fuel, expensive insurance, and specialized detailing, you must calculate that total combined cost immediately. By visualizing the entire consumption spiral before it even begins, you effectively strip the object of its sudden novelty and allow your rational brain to take full control. Another exceptionally powerful tactic is to deliberately build your lifestyle around utility and long-term durability, rather than constantly chasing fleeting visual perfection and temporary social status. When you learn to value items for what they actually do, rather than what they socially signal, the sudden urge to upgrade everything completely vanishes from your mind. Let us quickly pull this entire fascinating psychological journey together so you can carry this invaluable mental framework with you for the rest of your life. We learned how a single scarlet gown completely ruined a brilliant philosopher, proving that our material possessions possess an immense power to quietly manipulate our daily spending. We uncovered how modern global corporations deliberately engineer product ecosystems to exploit your natural human desire for absolute visual harmony and seamless functional consistency across items. And finally, we discovered that true financial peace comes from recognizing these loops early, establishing intentional friction, and choosing utility over endless, forced lifestyle upgrades every single time. If this video opened your eyes, please share it with exactly one person who desperately needs to hear this message, because one conversation can save a lifetime of financial regret. Thank you so much for watching. Keep mastering your mind, protect your hard-earned wealth, and I will see you in the very next deeply insightful behavioral breakdown video. To truly solidify your understanding of this phenomenon, we must investigate how social media platforms explicitly accelerate this exact chemical reaction inside your brain on a daily basis. When you scroll past an influencer showcasing a beautifully curated minimalist living room, your subconscious mind automatically starts comparing your own home environment to that stylized digital reality. You instantly buy the single aesthetic coffee table book they recommended. But that simple book immediately forces you to realize how outdated your actual wooden table looks beneath it. Within less than 3 weeks, you have completely repainted your entire living room and replaced your perfectly functional sofa just to match a passing digital trend you saw online. This is why modern digital minimalism is not just a stylistic design preference, but a vital defensive shield required to preserve your mental health and your long-term retirement accounts. Think about how much mental energy you lose trying to maintain a complex network of material items that do absolutely nothing to improve your genuine baseline emotional well-being. True wealth is never measured by the flawless consistency of your physical luxury goods, but by the absolute freedom you possess to walk away from unnecessary commercial transactions entirely. Every time you successfully resist the subtle urge to buy an unnecessary complementary product, you actively rewrite your brain's deeply ingrained reward pathways in a highly positive direction. You transition from being a passive target for corporate marketing teams into an active, fully autonomous individual who controls their own financial destiny with absolute precision and absolute clarity. Remember that the most elegant, fulfilling spaces are almost always the ones that leave room for life to happen naturally, rather than being overcrowded with hyper-curated premium consumer items. Let this timeless historical lesson from an 18th century French philosopher serve as your permanent warning whenever you enter a modern retail environment or browse an online marketplace store. The next time an advertisement tells you that a single purchase will completely complete your look, remember that it is actually an invitation to a never-ending financial downward spiral. Your current lifestyle is already completely sufficient, Your value is not defined by matching product lines, and you do not owe any corporation your hard-earned financial peace of mind. Implement the strategy of intentional friction starting this very afternoon, and watch how quickly your unnecessary expenditures drop while your baseline emotional contentment steadily rises over the coming months. If you found this breakdown incredibly valuable, please leave a comment below sharing the last time you fell victim to this exact psychological trap in your own personal life. Stay vigilant, stay completely intentional with your wealth, and join me next week as we continue to unlock the hidden psychological forces that secretly run our modern financial world.